Hello. Today we are going to discuss dihybrid crosses. Dihybrid crosses are essentially just an extra large Punnett square where you are doing two different genes in the same Punnett square at the same time. So the di of dihybrid means two. It means we're doing two different genes at the same time, determining what their genotype and phenotype possibilities are. So, since we've recently talked about blood type and how there are two different genes involved in that, I thought that would be good to use to learn about dihybrid crosses. So here I have a person who is homozygous for the actual B-type protein, but heterozygous for the rhesus factor. And then I have that person going to be crossed with someone who is O positive, homozygous for O, heterozygous for the rhesus factor. All right, so how do we set up parents? Okay, this is really important. So you have to first, let's look at the B positive person. Take that first IB allele and match it up with the first allele of the other gene, which is the rhesus factor. So you have that capital IB going to the capital RH, and then you have to take that same IB and match it up with the lowercase RH. All right, and you have it set up just like that. Now the other allele, the other IB allele, we have to do the same thing. We have to take that one and match it up with capital RH, and match it up as well with the lowercase RH. Okay, so now every allele has been matched with every other allele, and that is how you get all the possibilities for that. We're going to do the same exact thing for the O positive person. We have to see that lowercase I and match it up with the capital RH, and that first lowercase I is going to be matched with the lowercase RH, just like that. Then we have to take the second lowercase I, match it up to the capital RH, second lowercase I, match it up to the lowercase RH, and then we have again all the possibilities laid out completely. Okay. Now this is the part that ends up taking a lot of time, especially if you're handwriting it, where you are crossing through and determining what the genotypes would be. So I've got these pulled up in groups of 4 here. But when you cross everything through, you should have 16 squares filled in completely with 2 blood antigen alleles as well as 2 rhesus factor alleles for every single square. Okay. Now, when we look at all of these squares and we're trying to figure out the genotype and the phenotype ratio, we end up getting a ratio that is simplified down to 1 capital IB lowercase I, capital RH, capital RH, 2 capital IB lowercase I, capital RH, lowercase RH, and 1 capital IB lowercase I, lowercase RH, lowercase RH. So in this, you would end up having, actually, if I actually count up the squares, it would really be 4 of that first genotype, 8 of that second genotype, and 4 of that last genotype. But again, in ratios, you're always going to want to simplify down to the lowest you can. If I put those as percent likelihoods, we get then 25% chance of that first genotype, 50% chance of the second genotype, and 25% chance of that last genotype. That would be how written. For phenotype ratio, there's 3 B positives and 1 B negative, or 75% chance of getting a child with B positive blood, 25% chance of having a child with B negative blood. Now, that was a lot of writing, simplifying to do, and it's very time consuming. So I'm going to show you a shortcut method as to what to do. So, same problem, okay? But with the shortcut method, if you ever have homozygous alleles, so with those 2 IBs and those two lowercase i's, you only need to write them once instead of twice, because you're going to end up getting the exact same thing written if you just do the parent again. So instead of writing it twice, you write it once, and that is way less work for you to do. And you'll also have the simplified results for those ratios immediately, as opposed to having to do the math and simplify it down yourself. So a capital IB to a capital RH, capital IB to a lowercase RH, and then I would get the exact same thing with the second allele because it is homozygous. So instead of writing it twice, I again write it once. For the O blood person, we're going to do the same exact thing. Since we have homozygous lowercase i's, instead of writing it twice, we're going to write it once. So lowercase capital RH, lowercase I, lowercase RH. Cross those through, and we have one normal looking Punnett square that we're used to cross through, and we can just easily count and figure out a ratio of genotype and phenotype. In this example, this is like the way you can use the shortcut method the most to its most like effectiveness. So here we have homozygous for A blood, homozygous for rhesus factor, homozygous for B blood, homozygous for rhesus factor. So no matter what, I'm going to have an IA and a capital RH for that A blood person. Okay, no matter what, no matter which allele combines with which other one, no matter what, it's a capital IA, capital RH. So instead of writing that 4 times, write it once. Same principle applies to the capital IB, capital RH, and you end up literally just getting one cross that results in capital IA, capital IB, capital RH, capital RH, which is A positive blood, AB positive blood. Sorry. Now, again, the shortcut method only works if you have homozygous alleles. In this instance, we have an IA, an IB, so that's heterozygous for that actual like blood type. Then you have heterozygous for the rhesus factor as well. So on the top, for that first parent, no matter what, you're going to have a different pairing of alleles in every single box. So we can't simplify or reduce anything down or do any kind of shortcut method because every single one of those alleles is different. And as we look at the other parent in this cross, the same thing happens. Every single allele is different, heterozygous, so we are unable to do the shortcut method for this instance. With most crosses, you'll be able to do some kind of shortcut for at least one of the parents, but this is one of those more rare kind of crosses where it actually fills up every single possibility without any kind of reduction. Thank you for watching. Please share and subscribe, and remember to spread kindness.